Tali Kentof. Hello.
Hello, Emily. So good to see you. So good to be here.
Yes, 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 yes. So we had an incredible introduction that I really to this day don't even know how it happened.
Me
Um,
neither.
but it was incredible. We were at Meatstock, and all of a sudden we found ourselves in the back seat of a car, and we were being driven by two wonderful men to the forest for 2 hours. So as bizarre as that sounds, it was the most magical afternoon.
It was. You just made it sound really creepy, but it wasn't creepy at all. We weren't kidnapped. We were with these angelic, incredible men. One might not even be real. He might be an angel. We don't
Seriously.
know. But the way that all four of us just kind of found ourselves was like a modern day breakfast club. We had like this natural modern day breakfast club of an evening. And oh, I have goosebumps just even talking about it, but it was really transformational.
It was. It was absolutely amazing. And then we also were with Nicole Marie and Selena and then her little boy, Nico. So it was such a magical moment. And we had just went through the whole day, first day of Meatstock, and all of us just kind of needed a resetting of our central nervous system. And we went into the woods and we hugged trees. We got our feet in the water. Actually, did you get all the way in the water?
No, no, I just kind of ankle,
Yeah,
or knee deep. The water was really cold, but
very
it
cold.
was just green. The amount of green and glowing evening light around us, and all like-minded people just talking about natural healing from all different paths just kind of came together. It really was magical.
It really was. And it was so funny that you and I were just kind of like thrown in the back seat together. And I'm like, hi, I'm Emily. And you're like, hi, I'm Tali. And we're just like talking and everything. And then as we unfolded this conversation, we just realized how like aligned and connected we were. And it was just like, oh, this was a divine appointment that we were supposed to meet.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, all you had to say was Joe Dispenza, and I was like,
Yeah,
these
because
are
me and
people.
Will had just gotten back, well, August of last year. Me and Will, who was in the car with us, for 7 days with Joe Dispenza.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing. That's whew. It that that was just an incredible moment. I'm like, oh, they speak my language. These are my people. And really all of Meatstock, every person that I met, there was some sort of a connection or just some sort of higher level learning that I received. Everything was a divine appointment there. It was magical. And it was like 2 or 3 weeks after Meatstock that I still felt that vibrational frequency still just kind of going, that it just got me on a higher level. And I've said that that moment in the woods for me almost felt like a portal, that I walked through it, and when I came back from the conference I noticed a change in me. And I'm hoping that other people also who attended that conference also experienced just that they came back a slightly different version of themselves, but just more awake, aware, grown, more comfortable in their own skin, having new knowledge, new perspective. It's those conferences that really do cause change in a positive way.
Yeah. And, there's something that's very undeniable about meat stock. That just the conversations were very conscious. There were very conscious conversations. And, even whenever you're just, sitting there like having a meal with somebody, it's just undeniable and almost kind of eerie a little bit that you're just like, wow, like these are people that I resonate with, versus, people in your everyday life.
Yep, definitely not small talk.
No, no. And let me pull this up real quick because I didn't pull it up. Did you see the list of these
I
speakers for
Yes, I
next
can't
year?
wait. I will be there. So I already got my ticket. I was already buying my ticket on the plane going home.
Ah, I
So
love it.
Dr. Eric Berg, oh my gosh, I can't wait to meet him.
Mm.
Lately he has been posting some incredible stuff. I feel like he's transforming. He's come over, he's left plants and he's coming over to the carnivore side. So that is thrilling.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, I mean, I could go on and on and on about all these people. But there's such a warmth. Like Dr. Kiltz
Oh
just
yeah.
has this energy that is just it's the most, and I don't know how he'll feel about this, but it's the most balanced masculine divine and feminine divine I've ever, like, I just feel so nurtured by him when
Hmm.
I'm in his presence.
Yeah,
uh,
well, he's in the business of making babies.
yes, yes he
For a
is.
reason.
So yeah, this is going to be so fun for us, and it'll just feel like hanging out with friends,
Yeah.
to be able to get back to this as well. So I am so excited. I'm glad that I know that I get to see you again, but
Yes, yeah, we'll have to go out in the woods again for sure.
100%, 100%. We will add
Yeah,
that into our itinerary for sure. Um,
yeah.
so I can't wait to introduce you to people who might not know you, because that was one of the things that struck me when I was in the backseat of that car with you. I was just like, oh my gosh, she is just like this diamond in the rough. Like she is this jewel, because of all that you bring to the table. Like this isn't your first rodeo. Not only are you helping others with their health, you led the way by taking back the responsibility of your own health. So I would love for you to tell us your story.
Thank you. And we share that in common, that idea of taking charge or, putting that into action, taking charge of our health, moving out of a sick care system and finding our own answers and then implementing them and eventually being the example for others. But ironically, I was such a believer and such a cog in the system at one point because I'm a former pharmaceutical sales representative. And also, ironically, I sold a cholesterol lowering drug. And now, of course, I speak about the importance of cholesterol. I wrote my dissertation for my doctorate program on, how wonderful cholesterol is and how the truth is it's not cholesterol that's an issue, but it is our metabolic health that it plays a role. And so insulin resistance is that driver. So I've come of, I feel like I've lived many lifetimes in this lifetime and that I have been led. Now, looking back at it, there have been no accidents, and every single moment along the way was a purposeful stepping stone in order for me to get to this moment. But along the way, also, I was poisoned by our sick care system. And it was part of the, um, you know, looking for answers to my own feelings of inadequacy and also wanting to play a part or feeling at the time when I lived in Florida that something was missing in me and needed to be enhanced. And like many women in their early 30s, I was post-divorce looking for, to create my new life that I got breast implants and did my due diligence at the time and chose saline breast implants because I was told they are just salt water and this would be the safe way to go as opposed to silicone, which had just come back on the market after some skepticism and some health issues had been reported. So I thought I was doing the right thing and had done my due diligence as far as doing some research. And when I got the breast implants, I thought my life would tremendously change, that suddenly I would be a happy, whole person that I would go from an A cup to a C cup. And then I got them later on bigger and bigger and bigger and had like these big, big, big triple D breast implants where I would walk in a room and all people would see was my breast size, but they weren't able to see me. And perhaps in doing that, a lot of it was that I didn't want people to see me
Mm.
and that it was a covering or a way of hiding the way some people might gain weight and hide under fat.
Mm-hmm.
Or, they have just some other disguise or mask that these implants were also kind of a shield or a way of blocking myself from the rest of the world. And I did notice that people treated me differently when I had these breast implants.
Women
I was
and men?
women and men. Women hated me.
Wow.
And it didn't matter what I wore or what I said or what type of person I was. None of that, no one could see anything but the breasts.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed also that I was attracting the wrong type of man. So I was attracting men that wanted women with fake breasts and they wanted women who didn't necessarily have anything going on upstairs, but just had big breasts. And then they were just sorely disappointed when they found out that, the breasts came with opinions and thoughts and, and that was just the
And a
man that,
brain.
right. They, they didn't like that. And so I felt that these implants really did a good job of alienating me. So that's just on kind of a whole other level, but physically they were poisoning me. And there are over 40 toxic chemicals that are in breast implants, whether they are saline or silicone. The outer shell of breast implants contain over 40 toxic chemicals, including silicone. So even the saline ones are encased in silicone. But in my case as well, there was toxic black mold that had grown over time in these implants. And during that time, I had over 50 symptoms. Started going from doctor to doctor asking what's wrong with me. My hair fell out. I eventually had to wear a wig. I'd lost like 70% of my hair. I had horrible cystic acne, like my body was trying to speak to me and say that something was going on. Joint pain, muscle aches, complete exhaustion, where even sleeping all night, I would wake up and not have any energy. I felt like I was hit by a bus. Heart palpitations. I had just frequent urinary tract infections. My whole body just felt like it was on fire. I had mystery rashes. My thyroid went out. I started to develop all these autoimmune cascade symptoms,
Was
chronic
this
fatigue
within the
syndrome.
first, like, did it take a while? Was it a long time that you had the breast implants before you started to see symptoms, or was it pretty much initial?
Initially, I started to notice that I was getting acne and losing hair and having a little bit of fatigue. And that's when I started to look for answers. And, I was given Retin-A for my face. I was given minoxidil for the hair. I was given an antidepressant for the fatigue. So it was all just piecemeal until I was on 8 pharmaceuticals in my 40s and just given the answer that, you're just getting older or you have a hormone imbalance. They put me on all this hormone therapy, told me I was in early menopause, which that wasn't the thing. And that's when I lost all my hair and was wearing a wig. And then when I said, you see, this made me worse, they just said, well, no, they're just sometimes women lose their hair. It's all just part of the journey of being a woman. And I was completely dismissed when I did ask, could it possibly be my breast implants? Because I was noticing the timeline that, I was healthy in my early 30s, and then all of these things started to happen. Could there be any type of correlation? I was told over and over again that breast implants are safe and effective, FDA approved. It's just saline salt water in these implants, and it wasn't that. And it wasn't until I was so sick. I was actually in 2014 seeking assisted suicide. Like I was Googling it and looking and had a conversation with my parents about how am I gonna how do we do this? Maybe as a family, my son come along, the whole family, my brother, my parents, and we all go to Europe and we take a vacation. And then our last stop is Sweden. Everybody says goodbye. But I was fantasizing. I was putting this into my daydreams because I just didn't want to suffer anymore. And it was in 2016. I went for my first and last mammogram. But during that mammogram, of course, they squeezed the implant, and so more of that mold in the implant leaked out. And within a week or so, my symptoms got much worse. I started to develop a fever. I knew something was not right, and I started to connect it with the breast implants. And I started to tingle on one side of my body, and I was starting to lose control of one side. So almost becoming paralyzed on one side of my body as a result. And I'm the one who went in and demanded a plastic surgeon in the area where I was living at that time remove these implants. And he argued with me and said it wasn't that. It definitely wasn't coming from my implants, but he would remove them if that's what, if that's what I wanted. But he also tried to convince me that removing them, I would be absolutely hideous, would never be able to love myself or look in the mirror or accept my body. And I said, just get these out. And what came out
How many years had you had them?
in total, I had breast implants in my body for 15 years.
Okay.
That particular set had been in my body for six.
Yeah.
And so what came out looked like a petri dish. It was full of fungus, bacteria, and mold. And that's when I knew that this had been the root cause of all of my health issues. And I felt a due diligence to go back to the 20 specialists that I visited over that period of time and pay the copay and let them know I'm not crazy. It wasn't hormones. It wasn't this or that, but this was the root cause of my illness. And all of them looked at the picture of these breast implants that were full of toxic mold, and they told me that mold doesn't cause illness and that breast implants are safe and effective and FDA approved. And so that's when I realized this system, which the same system I worked for, the same system that I'd gotten behind and, worked in, I realized how corrupt that it was, that it truly was. And I knew that in order to heal myself moving forward, I needed to take charge of my health. And so, what that looked like for me was going back to school and learning natural health. And so, I have been studying since 2017, and I did just earn my doctorate in functional medicine. So I launched my practice in March. It is a virtual practice, so I help people all over. And I call myself a root cause detective. And I help people to uncover the root causes of their health issues at the cellular level, because it turns out that our health is very much determined by our cellular health. We have about 50 trillion cells in our body, and within those cells are our batteries, our mitochondria. And if those aren't charged and working properly on a lot of different levels, then our body can't function properly and be balanced. So I help people to achieve that balance and provide them with the tools that provide them with lifelong sustainability so that they have a choice of taking charge of their health, feeling younger, living better, sharing that information with their family, and not relying on a sick care system that offers only three tools, which is to poison, to cut, and to burn.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then I would love for you to share also as you've been this detective, that you have found that there is still, what did you say, scar capsules that you are going to have surgically removed, that people can, when they have the right surgeon originally, they can remove it at that time. But you're doing this in 2 months.
Yeah, so this is 8 years later. So I had the breast implants removed in 2016. But when that surgeon removed them, he did not remove the entire scar capsule. And here's the thing, this is how intuitive and intelligent that our body is. It knows there's a foreign object in the body. And so what does it do? It creates a wall around the implants to separate you from these poisons. That's what it's doing. And so that scar capsule must be removed at time of explant. So explant is the name of the surgery of removing breast implants. Now here's the thing. These surgeons were taught by the medical device company how to put breast implants in to give it that natural look, to not have the scars like on the outside, but did they properly teach these surgeons how to remove them? No. So, in order to heal properly, that whole capsule has to be removed according to what's called an N block, ENBLOC, N block procedure. And this is a way to remove the entire implant with that scar capsule and pull it out so there's nothing left behind. And at the time in 2016, there were only a handful of surgeons in the country who were skilled to be able to do that. And the surgeon that I had for my explant, he didn't know how to do it. Now, he said that he removed about 50% of the scar capsule, but my the surgeon that I will be having it's a full capsulectomy, which is going back in and removing the scar capsule, informed me just looking at my scar that there would be no way even to remove 50% because the scar itself is so small. So he posed a very good critical thinking question to me. How'd he look in here and get it out? How'd he get in and get it out? And that was a real eye opener for me because I'm like, yeah, how did he? Because it needs to be a big incision under the breast to be able to flip it up, go in there, actually explore, actually do the cutting, the scraping, the removal. And so I'm suspecting my entire scar capsule, which is full of still that mold, fungus, bacteria, all the adjuvants that are in breast implants, it's all in there. But it's about to be removed September 25th. And I'm going to be very public about it and share my experience and have YouTube videos about this. And thankfully, the surgeon that I found here in Colorado Springs is willing to go on camera as well to speak about this so that women know you need to do it the right way. If you have breast implants and you're going to have an explant surgery, you need to do it the right way the first time. Otherwise, you're going to be dealing with this like me later. Better to learn from me than to do the same, go through the same path and make the same mistakes that I did.
Absolutely. And I know this just from our conversations, but do you have any experience or inkling about what this actually does to your energy field to have not only the block of the breast implants over your heart chakra, over your body, but also even these scar capsules?
Yeah, exactly. So even the scar capsules, there's research out there to show a tattoo blocks energy. That even any type of a scar, anytime that you have a scar on your body, that's already creating kind of a shift of the way that energy flows in the body. And so when we think about these big things, like these big implants that I had that were sitting over my heart, over my internal organs, and blocking my heart chakra. Back then, I never would have thought about this. I wasn't ready to receive this information. I would have laughed at it, thought it was woo woo, but this is really based on quantum physics and science and energetics, but our body flow, there is flow and energy in our body. And if we have blocks like this, then especially in an area over our heart, damaging or stopping or blocking our heart chakra. So that is the center of I receive love and I
Mm,
openly give love and I know how to love myself and I can accept myself as I am, and I can accept and forgive others. I don't hold on to grudges. So these are the affirmations or the words, the feelings, the energy that comes from the heart chakra. And it's just very interesting that women who have breast implants are also 7 times more likely to commit suicide. So what's the connection? Is it the toxicity? Is it the energy block? Is it a self-esteem issue from before that wasn't enhanced by the breast implants? We don't know. We just know that this is statistically significant. And even with the removal of the implants, again, if the scar capsule is not removed, there's still a block there.
So what I am picturing as you're talking is almost like a wall
Hmm.
around the heart chakra that it doesn't allow love to get out and it doesn't allow love to be received.
And women who have breast implants, one of the symptoms that we all have, and this is under the umbrella of something that the FDA now says, yes, this is a thing called breast implant illness. And it's a slew of like 50 to 100 symptoms, depending, every woman has who's experienced these symptoms has kind of added to this list, but it's kind of like a common list of symptoms, very similar to the ones that I had. But one is this feeling of apathy, of
Mm.
not being able to feel or be in touch with your feelings or emotions, and almost as if you are watching a movie where you are detached from your body and you are looking at yourself and kind of being an observer, but not being intact and present within your body. And many women have experienced this and tried to explain it. And I've even, in my practice, spoken to women already who have said to me, I don't know how to explain it. And the minute they start to explain it, I know exactly what they're talking about. And I won't work with women who have breast implants because we know that there's a like that has to be removed first. Like step one, get the implants out. Step two, heal from your surgery. Give it 3 months for your body just to kind of naturally heal and rest. And then come to me and I will help those, I'll help those women from there in order to address the toxicity, address the cellular health issues, because chances are if you've had breast implants for a long time, you've experienced these symptoms, there's something deep rooted at the cellular level. There's mitochondrial dysfunction that needs to be looked at and addressed. And they're not
And
looking at any of this in conventional medicine.
no, no, not at all. And what is the experience for a woman to go from feeling like our breasts are, a symbol of our femininity, and then to go from having the larger breast, and then to go back to your natural, like size A. How do you help a woman? Because I would assume, and I've never had breast implants, so I don't know, but I would think that it would be scary to go back to my smaller chest size after experiencing this voluptuousness.
It's quite the opposite.
Okay.
It's a feeling like living in a foreign country where no one speaks the language to now coming home and sleeping in your own bed. So it
Wow.
may not happen right away, but eventually you'll land in that comfy space of authenticity. And when you live in authenticity, when you in every aspect of your life, you are aligned and true to who you are and how God made you, and you are in line with our Creator. And we are made in the image of God. So when we are it back in that image of who we are supposed to be, that alignment and that authenticity is such an incredible feeling and a place of strength that you, when you have foreign objects in your body, you are lost and alone in a foreign country. You will never feel 100% like you. It is stealing your connection to your body's divinity. It's
Mm,
blocking you from from energetic forces within us and our just ability to surpass all of our perceived, we have like these perceived goals or limitations. And when you are living your authentic self, your authentic life, you don't live with those anymore. And so I don't see myself as somebody, I don't define myself as, oh, I'm a small breasted woman. But back then I was only and solely a big breasted woman. If somebody were to give a description of me, they would be like, oh, the one with the big fake breasts. And
mm-hmm,
that's what I was known for. That was who I was to other people and also to myself. I'd lost my identity
mm,
behind all of that plastic and poison. And yet now, if somebody, definitely I'm not being described as that woman with the big fake breast because that that never was me and it isn't me. But now I think that people would define me as, oh, she tells you things like it is. Oh, she's living her authentic self. Oh, she's Snow White. She's out there playing with the deer and the squirrels and living her best life. And that's the truth. That's me.
mm.
And so I like that version of me much better. And I would encourage all women, if that's what's holding you back, if you're sick from these breast implants and you fear that you have these removed and you're going to be hideous like that plastic surgeon told me years ago, that's not going to happen. It's going to be quite the opposite, and you're going to glow and shine from the inside because you are being that truthful, authentic person. And you're going to love yourself the way that you are.
And it sounds like to me that it's more of an empowerment that you are connecting to your heart chakra in a more authentic way.
Yeah, even
Um,
the animals notice it.
I love that. I love that. And so also, did it stop with just the breast implants, or were you doing things like Botox and like other ways to augment your body?
Yeah, when you start with something like that, it's almost like a snowball effect because you want more, more, more. It's kind of like almost an addiction. But when I lived in South Florida, I had, the wig or the hair extensions because I'd lost all my hair, and I was aging rapidly due to the toxins and the mitochondrial dysfunction. So I did get Botox and got it repeatedly, would go to these Botox parties. I got, the big lips. And it was part of keeping up with the Joneses because a lot of women live that lifestyle. And when I had the breast implants out and I looked around, I realized that in order for me to fully heal, for me to heal on all levels, I needed to leave that environment. And it wasn't just about leaving humidity, because I had been exposed to mold. So I had chronic inflammatory response syndrome caused by the mold. And I knew that a drier, cooler climate would probably be a better thing for me. And that's how I ended up in Colorado. But also, just energetically, when I looked around and just realized that the people that were around me, not all of them, but a lot of them were just living on this surface of what kind of car do you drive? What kind of purse is that? What, are those Manolo Blahnik heels? And, how much did you pay for your filler? And, how many units of Botox do you get? And it was just a conversation that I felt, or an environment too, that I felt was so toxic that I needed to get out of that in order to heal. And I came to live as close to nature as possible. And I wanted to align with nature and put my bare feet on the ground and really connect with the vibrational frequency of nature because my intuition told me that's what I needed in order to heal.
So you allowed the earth to heal you.
Yes.
I
Yep.
love that.
And I got rid of all the purses and all the high heels and all the toxic makeup. It's almost as if life was designed to do this for me, not to me, because part of my shedding, a relationship ended. And I think that this man in my life it was a soul contract that because he was with me through the breast implant journey and I'd known him for 3 months with my big old breast implants. That's what initially had attracted him to me at the bar, or that's who I was then. But he went through that whole journey with me. That 3 months later, it was the great reveal of that it was the breast implants that were the root cause. And he was there with the surgery and he moved to Colorado with me. So he was instrumental in me moving to Colorado. And then it was a really, really, really earth-shattering breakup. And in that breakup, I lost everything that I owned. But all of those things were from that past life.
Mm,
So it's not that these things happened to me. I realize now that it had to happen. It was happening for me because it was part of the process of letting go of my old self so that I could become my new self and step into that person and leave all of that behind. And it's just interesting that on the timeline of things, that all of that happened in the way that it happened and left me. I had my cat, my car, my piano, and my bike.
wow.
4 things starting life. And you realize, like, oh, I don't have a fork. I don't have sheets. Oh, I don't even have a bed. I don't have, I had to rebuild my life. And with everything that I brought back into my life, I was grateful for all of it,
Mm. And what age,
down
what
to,
age were you when that happened?
oh, this was not too long ago. So this was 2017. So it was right after the implants came
Wow.
out and we moved out here. And so 2017, 2018,
What a
and
beautiful like rebirth.
it was a total rebirth.
Well,
Yep. And
it's so hard for me because the woman that I met in the back seat of that car was so beautiful. I mean, you are
thank you.
absolutely like striking. And then whenever you opened your mouth and you had this energy and this flow of not only like knowledge and intelligence, but this insight. Like there was so much depth into our conversation as we went into the woods, that it's hard for me to wrap my mind around this, woman who felt less than and felt that she needed to mask herself with Botox and breast implants. Like it's almost like you're talking about a completely different person than the person that I met in Tennessee.
Well, I could say the same thing about you.
Yeah, true,
Yeah.
true.
So looking at your pictures from the past, I can't imagine that Emily. Just like you can't imagine the Tali with the big fake breast implants or this idea of a lack of self-esteem. When I feel just that I am in a much stronger or different place. I'm not that person
Mm,
from my past, and the people that admired that person or gravitated to that person, many of them have fallen off. And that's what happens when we move into a different energy field. It's just like being in a car and listening to the radio, and then you're like, all right, I need to switch the channel. I'm not feeling this music anymore. And you move into a whole other station and you're listening to that music now. But you might be in a car with people who are like, there's music on. I don't hear anything. And I have felt that I have shifted, and I'm like on another timeline. I'm in another place. And as I study quantum entanglement, quantum physics, the more I understand that there are different timelines that are existing within our timeline, and that we can, that once we elevate, it's true that certain things will now gravitate into your life. New people, just like the experience of, us meeting in the car and driving into the woods and having this beautiful moment. And I really see that that was even a portal into this new shift or this new frequency that I'm in. But people will drop off and fall off, and it doesn't mean they're bad, and it doesn't mean you're bad or good or that you did anything wrong. It just means that their vibrational energy just no longer is a match for your vibrational energy. And now you're just on another station and you're dancing to another type of music. And now people who are liking that music and on that same vibrational frequency are going to find you, and that also will mean new opportunities, new jobs, new adventures, new everything, because you've allowed yourself to get there. And many people stay stuck because they fear the unknown, or they fear making that leap because you don't know what's on the other side. And just if you're open to change and you're willing to make positive changes in your life, and work toward those things and manifest them, and act as if even it's already happened, then, then those things are going to just naturally gravitate to you, because you'll be a magnet for those things, because we are energy.
Mm. Absolutely, absolutely. And I am assuming, or I know, that this has informed your practice as well, that you incorporate mindset and a lot of this. So tell me how you use that with your practice.
Yeah, so most people aren't ready for this conversation. And probably some people listening now are probably like, these two ladies have lost their minds. And that's okay. It's okay, because that just means you're just, again, you're just not on that station. And maybe one day you're gonna be, moving the dial, and you'll come back to it and be like, oh, this now makes sense to me. And that's, that's great. But step number one is identify what the block is. What is the root cause of the illness, of the imbalance in your body? And then focus on removing that block or barrier. So, a lot of people come to me, they have levels of toxicity. There's mold, fungus, bacteria, glyphosate, a lot of things, even in the mind, like limiting beliefs. But I don't start there. I'm starting first with let's detoxify the body, because what that is doing is clearing space. So step one, let's clear some space, or like in my, I call it's chapter one of your book or your story. Chapter one, clear the clutter.
Hmm.
And so we all have clutter in our lives, whether it's in our head, in our house, in our situations, in our bodies, with things that need to be detoxed. So when we make space first, now we have space and room to nourish and strengthen the body. And then we can calm the nervous system. So, putting the body in a state, and the mind in a state of, now I'm safe, and now I feel better, and now I'm open to receive. And then once we're in that situation, all of our cells in our body are like, they're antennas. So these antennas are like, all right, what's next? What's next? So they're ready to receive. And at that point, we can focus on mindset. And then we can even take things into higher level with frequency. And we can start making great shifts in perception and just how you live and what you reflect out into the world. Because here's the truth. We are the creators of our own reality. And so we don't just sit around and react to what life throws at us. That's a way to set yourself up for failure. So
Mm.
instead, we have to be the creators of our own reality, and that's how it works. So if you start your day on a positive mindset, and that everything is wonderful, then what you will see out in the world is that everything is wonderful. But if we just focus on the negative, I promise you, you're just going to get so many negative things are going to happen to you throughout the day, one after the other. You're just going to be a magnet of trouble. And we all know that person who just brings drama into their life, and you're like, they must be the most unlucky person. No, that is not the case. And when I had those breast implants and I didn't understand this fully, I was attracting so much drama and so many horrible things. And it's not, oh, life just is so unfair and all these horrible things happen to me. No, things happen for you. So you have to wake up and take control and take the wheel and create your beautiful life. And it's there to create just once you work through the process. So I help my health participants. They're not laying on a table. I'm not sprinkling fairy dust on them. I'm not doing anything to them. They have to do things for themselves. And I teach them that path I show them, I teach them, I guide them how to take the wheel, take responsibility for their health and create this beautiful life.
I love that. I love that. And I think it is another layer of healing to get into that mindset. But like you said, it kind of needs to be the first step, whenever they're ready.
Yeah. Yeah. First make space and the person has to be absolutely ready. I've had experience already where someone wasn't ready. And in spite of anything and everything that I could do on my end, if I want it more than the health participant wants it, and all they can do is just focus on problems and not be a solution seer, because you have to be focused on solutions as opposed to problems. We're going to leave the problems. We now know what they are. That's cool. Now let's step into working on solutions. And not everybody can do that. And I know that, a lot of people get stuck because they use their illness or their label or their itis that they receive in conventional medicine as a crutch or as an identity. And they wear it like a billboard. And they'll even say, like, my fibromyalgia, or, my MS, or, my autoimmune disease. And I've fallen into some Facebook groups where people are just so obsessed with their gene mutations or their illness. And it's just very problem focused. And the only way to heal is to shift the focus on the solution. And you have to want it. You have to want to get better. And that means leaving your sick person behind and then stepping into your well person. Even if on the day that you are trying to connect with that person, that well person, feeling wonderful and maybe, hiking or paddleboarding or adventuring or traveling, and, that's kind of your dream. But in that moment, every part of you hurts. You still have to focus on that future self that you can be, because our possibilities are limitless and we do have the innate ability to heal ourselves. But we can only do that if we leave the sick person behind.
Absolutely. And we have to, like you said, remove the blockages so that the light can come in and heal us. And I love the way that here, let me show your website. I love this. Is it this one? Oh, here it is. Um, take the first step towards feeling energized and vibrant again.
Yep.
Like,
At any age.
yeah, yeah. And I think it's so important to recognize that number one, that hope is still possible. That hope is very valid. And like you said, for those who refuse to settle for you're just getting older and it's all in your head, rediscover a healthier, younger you. Yes.
Well, that's what we hear in conventional medicine. It's all in your head. Here's an antidepressant, or you're just getting older. You should really get hormone therapy. And that is not the solution. Those are not the solutions because you have to tap into the root cause and then address that and move on.
And you do something that just blows me away. You offer for people to just reach out to you to have an initial session.
I
So
do for now. Yes, I have a complimentary consultation right now. So yes, it's a 45-minute to a 1 hour consultation. It is my time, and I just help through some specific questions related to what health issues are you experiencing, what your goals are, and then explain kind of my approach to see if we're a fit. I don't accept every single person as a client or a health participant in my program. It has to be a fit. I have to know that somebody is also ready to be a full-on health participant, to participate in their own health journey, because that mindset and that work is what's going to guide the transformation. And so my program's really about school. So that's why it's called Learn You, that it's a
yeah,
university where you literally are learning you and learning how to take care of you, because sadly we haven't been taught the truth. And so through the program you attain tools, kind of like a video game where it's like, oh, now I have this sword and now I have you know, the secret holy grail, and you collect all these tools along the way through this transformational program, and you keep these tools. So I don't want clients, or customers for the rest of their life. I don't, it's not a trap by any means. I'm showing you a way out, and this way you have sustainability and tools to keep you and your loved ones healthy and out of a sick care system, which really is a cage. It's a conveyor belt that will take you very slowly to the grave without really providing sustainable solutions. Their labs in conventional medicine are geared toward what pharmaceutical that they can give you. So they're not looking at root cause. They are just looking for an illness that they have a pill for or a surgery for. And if you are looking for something else, something different, then this is more of a path, but it requires work. You're not just laying on a table or taking a pill. There are no shortcuts to this. There's only a transformation that comes from the right mindset and the right work and the right path.
absolutely. And they get to take an active role with you as their guide. Because I think, number one, it's so scary to take an active role because we're so used to taking a passive role in our
Hmm.
health of, well, my doctor said, well, my doctor, well, we're just throwing off our power to the doctor or to the surgery or to the pill, and you are having a complete, you're flipping the whole model up on its head to say, actually, you're in charge. But I love that you're giving this guide. And I mean, look at your credentials. I mean, this is amazing that you're able to have the, what is PWA?
It's a Professional Wellness Alliance. So this is just light holistic licensing. And so all my clients sign up under this umbrella, and it's an agreement between us that I can be the holistic practitioner provider. And it's a beautiful thing to support systems like this. And we talked about this at Meatstock in the conference, that our only way out is to create these parallel type of systems to the conventional systems, and that's I'm part of that parallel system. I'm showing another way out, another way to seek wellness and to take charge of your health, so that you don't have to wind up in that cage. And I haven't been to a conventional doctor since 2016, since I made that decision to walk out. And as
Wow.
a former pharmaceutical sales representative, it took a lot to get over here, but it took completely dismantling who I was in the past and then to recreate myself. And here's the thing, it's not that I recreated myself, it's just that I remembered who I was.
That is so true. That is so true. Those bones are still there. You just like peeled back the layers and revealed the true Tali. And then I love this. Learn you live better. And so anytime that somebody wants to look for you on any platform, it's learn you live better. So you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean it's all right there. The more that you learn about yourself and that you understand the language that your body is always communicating and speaking to you, and that you don't rely on somebody outside of your body to tell you what's going on. So that is part of what I teach is really understanding the language of our body, and the way our body speaks to us is through symptoms or through feelings. So understanding what that is, learn you live better. And as I said, it's a university where you are learning how to take care of you. Somebody outside of your body in a conventional, that conventional approach who is just going to mask your symptoms with pharmaceuticals is literally silencing you. So as your body is screaming and trying to speak to you, it's literally like a hand that's willfully going over your mouth and stopping the screams. All the diseases that we know of as the big heavy hitters, the C word, diabetes, heart disease, all these big autoimmune, all of these at the root, 10, 15 years before these manifest into these big type of dis-ease in our body is mitochondrial dysfunction.
Mm.
So this can be reversed very quickly and then supported so that these imbalances don't manifest into, chronic killers. And we can live youthful, healthy lives throughout our entire life. So you don't have to be your chronological age. You can be your biological age, and you have control over your biological age by how you live your life and the many, many tools that are available to help support you that just exist in nature. So, we just have to relearn and remember what it is to have a true human experience.
Absolutely. And I do love on your Instagram, I get all sorts of beautiful stories. Like it just feels very childlike whenever you're playing the piano and then you're experiencing animals. Like I have so much fun just like and then all of the travels that you do like in nature and stuff. And of course, here's
There's Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell. I love it. And it feels so fun. Like it doesn't feel like this doldrum of, like you said, aging and menopause and like all these things. There's just this life that, comes out of this just existence. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, well, my 30s and 40s were all about illness, and now I'm thriving, and it's all about getting out and really experiencing life and wellness and being a just being in charge of your health. Taking charge of your health provides you with just such a phenomenal empowerment. And being in a childlike state, we've all forgotten how to use our imaginations. We've forgotten what it's like to be a child, which is a special kind of power. And when we tap into the frequency of our childhood, like before the age of 7, we're mostly in this theta frequency, which is where we are most formative, it's our formative time. So really it's kind of like that frequency of brainwashing or overriding and rewriting our script. And so going out in nature, taking nature walks, remembering what it's like to play and to invent and to imagine does put us into that theta mode where we are able to transform and make changes. And so, that's the frequency that I connect with. And what's interesting is since we got back from Meatstock, all of a sudden I'm just a magnet for animals. And I'm not just talking about cats and dogs, but I'm talking about deer, birds, squirrels, owls.
Owls.
Yes. I don't know what's going on, but I'm loving this. I last night came within inches of touching a deer. This deer was totally not afraid of me whatsoever and was just coming over to say hello and walk with me a little bit. And I just love posting these videos because I'm just in awe of this situation. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. This is miraculous. But when we do see the world through the eyes of everything as a miracle, then then guess what? Everything is a miracle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then one other place that people can follow you is on Facebook. And I love your name. But I think it's really important that people understand that it is not Tally. It is
Yeah, it's
Holly.
Tali.
Holly,
Yes.
just like you told me, just like Holly. And I was like, oh, I get it. I get it.
Yes.
And then you just deliver so much, like I said, energy through all of this. And so even if people are not ready to, schedule that call with you, they can follow your story and just see what it's like and the different things that you are navigating through this journey.
Yeah, even just follow my adventures in the woods. Do you know, there are a lot of people who live in cities and they don't have a connection to nature. You can take walks with me vicariously through nature. You can experience all these animal encounters that I've had. And, maybe it will spark you to book a vacation or find a local park or somewhere where you can even just take your shoes off and put your bare feet on the ground and experience the healing frequencies of nature. So, any way that I can guide people, whether you're ready to come on as a client or not, you just want to even tune in and just be with me when I take my walks out in nature, that would be fabulous.
Or just be with us at Meatstock in 2026.
Oh, that would be incredible. And I know that this year we're going to have, I think, 3 or 4 times the size that we've even had to move the venue to a larger space. And we're going to have many more speakers, and it's just getting bigger every year. I'm just so happy and so proud to be part of such a wonderful community.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And anybody who's watching this, if you are coming to Meatstock 2026, come find me and Tali, and we are
Yes,
going into
we're
the
going out in
woods.
nature. Yes. We're going to put
For
our feet in
sure.
the stream.
For sure.
Yes.
Well, I'm so honored that I attracted you into my field and that I got to not only just like know you on a surface level, but to really get to experience like that day with you. And then now just to be friends.
I'm
And
I'm equally honored. It was the highlight of Meatstock for me.
uh,
Was our moment in the back seat of the car. As weird as that sounds.
I know. I don't even care. I don't even care. But I'm also just so proud of you that you haven't climbed out of the pit of misery and illness, and now you're just like da da da, like I'm here. You're crawling back in, and you are helping others and guiding them out. So your work is sacred. And I am
Thank
just
you.
so honored to get to not only witness you, but to also just highlight you so that I can have a place to point people to because I'm not a practitioner like that. And so I don't know all of these things. And so I love that you are so skilled in these areas. And I like I already see like 10 years down the road. And I just can't wait to watch Tali like explode. Like this is so
Oh,
fun.
thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yep, and learning and growing never stops. So, I'm constantly expanding the things that I know and going to conferences and learning from people who have been doing this or who are on the same path of learning. So it never ends.
Also, I want to thank you for your transparency because I think that it's profound that not only have you been transparent about your explant, but you're also being transparent about this upcoming surgery in 2 months. So I'm really excited to just kind of watch alongside, and then to send you all of the healing vibes and energy and love as you not only take back your health, but that you model for us how we can take back our health.
Yes, and don't make the same mistakes that I do. Had I known then what I know now, kind of a thing. So yeah, and
Yeah,
I appreciate all the healing vibes that you send my way and just for acknowledging this journey and just helping me get the word out too to other women who might be facing something similar. I just want to ensure that their journey through this is not as complicated as mine was.
exactly. It's come almost kind of like you have like prepared the path. So
Hmm.
they don't have to be like with a machete, like, you know, like going
Right.
through the forest. Like there's
Yeah.
already a path there for them to just follow the leader. Awesome.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Tali, for your friendship and
Thank
thank you
you.
for the work that you're doing. I'm so grateful to just be on Earth at the same time as you.
Oh, you're so sweet, Emily. I so appreciate you. I cannot wait to see you. So in May, I can't wait to see you and maybe possibly sooner than that. It would be wonderful for us to connect.
Absolutely. We'll have to make that happen. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.